Well, welcome to another edition of Objective Bias with yours truly, Ace Alpha, and I have a special guest in the building, AJ from The Tea is Toxic. How you doing today, AJ?
I'm doing good. Just, out here having fun with this podcast life.
Right. I mean, it is what it is. It's a whole job in itself, but it's fun. I appreciate the process.
Yeah, big time.
And you're my first guest on my
Yeah,
show.
I feel all special now.
Hey, man. I mean, you are special. You're a special friend of mine and a colleague. But yeah, the topic for the day is haters in your circle. I mean, the reason I wanted to speak about this because I think a lot of us experience this, whether we speak on it or not, let it, slide because it's our friends or whatever the case may be, but it's a real situation, you know what I mean? I think that we have friends or who we think are friends that passively hate on us, whether it's talking about us behind our back to other people, not
Mhm.
supporting you purposely, or just, jealous of where you may be versus them. Um, do you feel that this is a thing? Have you experienced this before? What are your
Let me tell
thoughts
you,
about haters in your own circle? Or have you, you know, had
I
situations to where this has been a thing for you?
I am an alpha female. Okay, so for like all intents and purposes, my personality is more aggressive. It comes off stronger. So
Oh
that
no,
being
no,
the
not at
case,
all. No,
yeah,
not
right. How could it be me? But that being the case, a lot of times when other females, I'll just speak directly on women in general. They either step up to the plate or they cower. It's like there's no in the middle. But even the ones that step up, a lot of times, what I've experienced, even throughout my entire life, with different friendships I've had since childhood, is that two things. One, when it comes to haters in the circle, I've never been the one to cry wolf. So
right.
naturally, if say there's a circle of three, or I guess that's a triangle, whatever, fuck y'all. If there's a triangle, of the three of us, the
Triangle.
crying one is where
Right.
everyone's gonna gravitate to.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, Ash is strong, she got it. AJ strong, she got it. Okay, cool. And so in my adult years, it has been something that is different because in our big age, we move a little more sneaky, a little more sly. I had
Right.
a friend of, and I'll call her out. And I'm not going to give her the name because she doesn't deserve the clout. But this was a friend of 25 years, off and on. And when I had a dismantlement of the podcast that I had done about a year ago, she jumped in there live. And this is a very direct response of haters in your circle. She
Right.
jumped in there live and she proceeded to hackle and cackle and talk shit about me in the live from the comments. What she did not know was there was another female in there that I was cool with, and she did not know of that female. So she had done so much cackling and making jokes and clowning the whole me going solo, all of that. And for her birthday, I had shouted out, "Oh, happy birthday to my best friend!" Blah, 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 a couple days later, or about a month later, and the female messaged me and was like, or no, she went on a podcast. I'm sorry. And then the female saw me shout out her on that podcast, and she messaged me like, "Oh, how do you know that girl?" And I was like, "Oh, that's my best friend. Why?" And she was like, "Never mind. No, no, tell me." Well, this bitch was in so and so's live, being a pick me with the men,
Mhm.
talking shit about you. And I was wondering who she was because she was so invested in the conversation.
Okay.
Well, needless to say,
Do you
my
know what
best
was
friend
being
is
said? Did they relay
uh-huh.
direct messages of what was being said? Did they let you know?
Yes, I was told the direct messages of what was being said.
Okay.
hmm And so now, mind you, the other female was in there because she was still cool with the guys, but she just happened to be in there listening. And this one showed up. And so, long story short, she found out that I knew that she was in there. And that's when the weirdness started. And what happened was that over time, within like a week or so, she just unfollowed me completely. So when I saw she had unfollowed me, I said, oh, this is the perfect opportunity. Block, 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 and got rid of her. And she, to this day, she has stated to our mutual friend she regrets it. But for me, I don't hold any grudge. I don't have any regrets. It's just, it was one of those things like, listen, you've been moving funny, but based off, and this was the last time I give grace for seniority, based
Right.
off of the time you had in my life, I gave you more grace than you were ever deserved. And this probably was a friendship that should have ended in middle school. It probably should have never even been a thing that continued.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the catch. I realized, like, no, that's not going to be a thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, do you care to share anything that this individual said about you? Was it like hate towards what you got going on, or just
So
you
I
personal
was part of a
attacks?
group podcast that was called Relax. It's just a podcast.
Right.
Okay, cool. We had to dismantle whatever. She was in there joking, going, oh, relax. I need a podcast. Oh, relax. I'll pick any podcast. She was popping shit like that.
Oh,
And it
okay.
had actually not even been her first incident because she had done something extremely shysty in the past. But I have to save that for my What About Your Friends episode on the Tea is
Okay,
Toxic.
I got you. You keep that
But
material. No.
she has definitely always been someone who is insecure in her own right. And it shows over time. And it's interesting because she's a model. She lives in Cali. She's been on television. She's been on all different things. But yet and still, she's still trying to figure out who she is, to the point where her goal is to try and keep us all where we were when we all met.
Right.
And it's like, get right or get left.
I used to say that all the time. You stole my slogan from a minute ago. I don't say it anymore, but
so
and
yeah,
I
I've
really think
definitely encountered it.
I think it's really a problem with our people as our race. The crabs in the barrel mentality. It's funny that it works this way because, even though, like you said, you have an alpha personality, so do I. And, with that comes leadership. You know what I mean? We know what we want. We know what direction we are going in, and we, make attempts to get there. And the crazy dynamic is people indirectly look for that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have your group of friends or so-called friends that'll follow you and allow you to do all the work and ride the wave, so to speak. But yet in the same boat, if they see that you're putting in the work and you're doing everything that you need to do and you're succeeding in any shape, form, or fashion, they
Now
get a
they
little jealous.
now
And
they're
it's
mad.
like, why are you getting jealous at me putting in the work, but yet you're trying to ride the wave as well? Like, it don't be making sense to me. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I actually got this one story where, I mean, we don't beef anymore, but at the time everything happened, I just kind of had to fall back from breath. You know what I mean? So pretty much, yeah. Let me lay out the story. So this was like in my 20s, but it still resonates because it was a situation that I'm like, how the fuck did we get here? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I remember it was one evening, or he told me like the day before, like, yeah, I got some, females coming through, pull up, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. So initially I thought he had a friend for himself and a friend for me. That's what I thought the setup was. So when I get to his spot, another partner of mine is there. He's, parlaying and chatting it up with the other girl, and he got the girl that's supposed to be for him, and I'm just a third wheel. I'm like, shit, I guess I'm too late. Fucking, still about to get my drink on and chill and shit. You know what I mean? I just, I'm just hanging out tonight.
Mhm.
So, pretty much what happened was the girl that was supposed to be for him was choosing me, and there was a reason behind it. She pretty much found out that he already had a girlfriend that he was lying about. She
Trying to be
came from out of
sneaky.
town and whatever. So she was like, shit, since he's doing him, shit, I'm gonna goddamn do me. So when I realized what was happening, I was like, hold up, thank you for, what I'm saying? Thank you for, bro. Let me go holler at my boy real quick, see what's up. You know what I'm saying? So I bring him in the back room, like, ain't that your, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that your little shawty? You know what I'm saying? He's like, he tried. He was flexing. He was capping. He was like, nah, bro. I don't cuff these hoes. That's what he said. I don't cuff these hoes. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, blah blah. I'm like, are you sure? Because once I start drinking, hey, I mean, she bad though. So shit, you know what I mean? Like, nah, you good. So all right, I'm about to do my thing. You know what I'm saying? So fast forward, me and the girl start talking for real to the point to where we was actually dating. You know what I mean? And I remember she used to press me about like doing other stuff. Like she was from out of town. I mean, we were dating, but it's still a long distance relationship. So I'm still doing my thing a little bit, here and there, but I'm still kicking it with bruh. So bruh is going back and telling us shit we doing. Like, oh yeah, Ace is on this type shit. He's on this type time. Blah 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 blah. And it was weird because I didn't realize it at first. Me and her just used to get into all these arguments about me doing shit. I'm like, how the fuck are you knowing about what the fuck I got going on? I mean, I'm not denying it, of course, no plausible deniability on my part. So um, fast forward to it was like a few months later. I eventually broke it off with her because we was just arguing too much. A motherfucker like we just started dating. How we already arguing 2 months in? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's weird.
So it was actually around my birthday, where everything kind of hit the fan. I broke up with her maybe 2 weeks prior to my birthday, and he wasn't aware of this. Again, I didn't know that he was feeding her information, but apparently on my birthday, I went to a club with another female, some other friends, and she got wind of that. And I guess she still felt like, you know what I'm saying, this was the girl that I was fucking around with her on, or whatever the case may be. But literally, I just start, shit, we ain't fucking around like this, so I'm gonna do my thing. So I guess he told her we was going to the club and this, that, and third. Mind you, I got fucked up that night. Like that was one of them goddamn birthdays where you just, you ever just get too drunk where you can't enjoy yourself. Like it was one of those nights.
I made that mistake one time. It was like never again, never
Yeah,
again.
that was the first and last time I turned up like that because I had to actually leave the club. So the girl that met me up there actually drove my car home or whatever. So we get to the crib, we kick the shit or whatever, and I was like, okay, let me sober up a little bit, and then I'll take you home, around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, whatever. Because she literally stayed around the corner.
Mhm.
And it wasn't a plan for her to spend the night. It just kind of happened that way because I was fucked up, you know.
Yeah.
So I get out to the car and I'm like, okay, I'm straight now. Because I was a great drunk driver. Now I ain't shit, but back then I was the goat. Um, so I'm like, okay, I'm sober enough to where I can take you home. So we get out and I proceed to turn the car on and start driving. And I hear like the tires and shit. Like I'm like, fuck it, why am I not moving? Like fuck, I'm driving in quicksand or some shit. So I get out the car, my fucking tires is right,
All four of
and
them?
all four. And I'm still drunk. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna deal with this tomorrow. But I'm already knowing what the fuck going on because the girl that was with me that night and the ex at the time, those are the only two people that knew where I stayed. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like contrary to her belief and what she was being told, I wasn't fucking around like that. But that's
Mhm.
the information that was being provided to her from oh boy.
From a hater.
So yeah, so I head up the next day. I'm like, I'm snapping like, God, goddamn, you gonna snatch my tires and shit. She wrote hole in my damn on the my trunk and shit and all that. And she's like, oh, it must have been one of y'all other girls and shit like that. Just saying shit like that. And I'm already knowing this. It was her again. Only you and the girl that came over last night. Only two people that know where I stay. You know what
And
I mean?
slashing tires so you can stay at a man's house is crazy behavior. So I know it couldn't have been Shorty that was there. Like,
Whew. So she was from Detroit. By the way, if she hears fuck that shit, she shared it on the house. So fast forward a couple of months later, she was back. I had stopped talking to her. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take this L because technically I can't prove it, but I know who the fuck that. So a couple of months later, she's around the way. She hits me up. And one thing about me, even if somebody does me wrong, I don't, hold grudges or stay mad at someone because who. Even though it's cliche,
just
those
slash
that
that
control you,
tires all the way through.
those who anger you control you. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna get that energy from me. You know what I mean? So a couple of months later, she hit me up. She's like, "Can we talk?" I'm like, "About what?" I'm just around the way. Can you come outside and talk? But this, that, third. So I get in the car, like, okay, what's happening? You know what I mean? Because by this time, I done moved past it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really on that shit. She's like, turn your phone off. I'm like, turn my phone off for what? Like, she on some don't record me type shit. I didn't realize that at first, but I'm like, what you talking about? Turn my phone off. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna entertain this shit. What's happening? Well, yes, I'm the one that slashed your tires. Bitch, I know. The fuck you talking about? I can do
This was not a
that.
plot twist.
You've been, I got, like I told, I got, like I knew that, like it was a surprise for me, but then she proceeded to tell me why and how it happened. And that's how I found that bro was going back and just saying shit and, just saying what we may or may not doing or what I got going on and, putting a little sauce on it as well. So I was like, damn, okay, so you gonna run me that money though? You know what I'm saying? Like you go, reimburse.
Don't tell me why you broke, bitch.
So um so after I found out this information, I wasn't even tripping, but I'm still kicking it around old boy. And we have a lot of mutual friends. We went to the same high school and shit. So I'm still going out kicking it with mutual friends, and we're like kind of crossing each other's path. And then one day at the club, it was like a stare off, like, you know what I'm saying? Like walking back and forth, like, you know what I'm saying? Because me personally, I wasn't mad about you feeling some type of way, but the fact that you acted like you didn't care about this girl and you gave me the green light, now you hating on the nigga, hating on the nigga because he's doing this thing. That's some true hating shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, bro?
I feel like
After
he
I
thought that
came at
it
you,
was just gonna be a pass and go. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you was gonna knock her off that night, then he was gonna be able to, you guys could just ping pong her back and forth. And you actually sought out something with more
mm-hmm.
uh depth.
It just happened. Like, oh, girl was cool as fuck. Outside of the crazy shit, obviously, was slashing tires and shit and all the arguing we was doing. She was actually cool. So, like, after that's a different story for another day. But we staring each other down. Then a mutual friend, like, he brought us together, like, hey, man, we can't be like this, and the third. So I guess afterwards we went to somebody's crib to I guess continue to turn up. And then he finally came out and said everything like, yeah, I was in my feelings and this, that, and the third, and blah blah blah. And I appreciated that in the moment, but it it allowed me to realize, who he was, and I stopped fucking with him like that. You know what I'm saying? Also respectful shit. Like if I see him, I say what's up, but I ain't never kicking it with you again just because you showed me your true colors. And I was like, and my thing was, I felt like I followed protocol. I talked to you, I hollered at you, let you knew what was up, and you gave me the green light, and you still hate me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I just don't be understanding why, especially as we gotten older, like you said, people are so indirect with their hate. They are so sneaky with their hate. It's almost
I've
like
watched people
motherfuckers be scared
destroy.
of conversations, real conversations, to be on the same page, or
It's
I don't
crazy.
get it. Like,
I've watched people destroy entire businesses because they're in their feelings. Never come, never talk, never say how they feel. They've been confronted. This is what's going on, X, Y, and Z. Oh, yeah, girl, that's fine. Go do it, have fun. Be in your feelings and destroy an entire business relationship. That has
right.
to be
Mm-hmm.
the most emotionally unstable decision to ever make. And I think that's where it comes with haters in the circle, especially at the age that we are now.
Mm-hmm.
It shows a lack of emotional maturity.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
That's what
Like
it is.
motherfuckers
You
don't
lack
know how
the
to
ability.
express themselves to get on the same page or just tell. Like, even if I did something wrong and I didn't know it, how about you holler at me? Because I know if you get me upset, if I feel disrespected or I feel like you slighted me in any shape, form, or fashion, then we supposed to be like that. I'm gonna say something. You know what I mean? I'm
That's
like, hey,
facts.
let me holler at you. You know what I'm saying? I felt like this or whatever the case may be. But unfortunately, I guess that's an alpha trait as well. You know what I'm saying? As far as us being direct and addressing what we feel like we need to be addressed. But people just don't do that. You know what I mean? Like I remember even one time, like we're real cool today. We're not best friends like we used to be. But I remember me and a partner of mine almost got to fighting on the basketball court, and I was like, "What the fuck?" You know what I'm saying? Because of course, I played basketball growing up. I was like one of the best players out my state and county or whatever.
Oh,
And I wish. Uh, and with that, I had me like a little circle. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers like kind of followed me in my circle because I was, back then, if you was like a jock, so to speak, you always had people around you.
mm-hmm.
And I never really thought about it, but I remember we was hooping. We had gotten older, and I treated when I'm on the basketball. When I used to be on the basketball court, if you're on another team, like we competed, at the time. So he was goddamn calling some weak ass fouls on us, and I called him out on that. Like, yo, big ass calling on them goddamn weak ass calls, quit bitching, bro. Like I was like on that type of shit,
Yeah.
and he was like, he started like, getting a little emotional or whatever, as far as from an anger standpoint. And next thing I know, words were exchanged, and like he kind of squared up. I'm like, niggas, we about to fight over some basketball. Like, yeah,
There's a
is
thousand
this,
other things.
this is some jealousy that's been brewing, or something that you wanted to take it there on the court. You know what I'm saying? And I was so surprised, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe, and again, maybe it wasn't like this. I'm not sure because we never really addressed it afterwards. It was on some shit like, let's squash that type shit and kind of move on. I was young. I wasn't able to express myself like I am now. So that was like in my 20s and shit. But
Mm-hmm.
I remember afterwards, like people on the court, because they knew us because we always came to the gym together. They're like, ain't that your boo? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I was gonna fight. I mean, I was gonna defend myself. I ain't no bitch now. You ain't about to goddamn just think you about
Yeah.
to get one off on me and shit. But yeah, it was so weird because I was like, I took away from that, like maybe, with I guess my notoriety at the time, and he played ball too. Maybe it was a jealousy factor, like, oh, Ace is the talked about basketball player. Everybody talks about him, and nobody
Mm-hmm.
talks about me or has given me a chance or whatever the case may be. And it kind of came out all on the court that day. I'm like, damn, bro, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, we still remain cool, but over time, it just wasn't the same. You feel what I'm saying? Like it was, and I just I'm always taken aback when I find out somebody that I feel like is supposed to be close to me is hating on me passively and indirectly talking about me behind my back because that's not me. I'm not a gossiping ass motherfucker. Like, I'm
Yeah. If I
tried and
said
true
it,
in the
I can
loyalty
say it to your
department.
face. I'm not
You
gonna
know
back.
what I'm
What did you
saying?
say? I said you was a fat ugly bitch. That's what I said. You talk like, you know what I mean? Like I'm
Right.
not going to. I've never been the person to back down either.
So what do you think is more of like the jealousy thing more than anything when it comes to people in your circle hating on you? Do you think that is the driving force for people hating on you in your circle, jealousy?
I think that I deal with more envy than jealousy. And I think one of the reasons I deal with a lot of envious individuals, both men and women, is because I let you know what I want you to know.
Right.
So I guess I make this life look easy. So since you don't know my trials, you don't know my tribulations, you can't necessarily relate to me on that level. But I'm not big on giving someone ammunition to break my heart.
Right.
Whether it's a
Same here.
friend or a lover, I'm not going to break my own heart
Right.
by giving you the ammunition to embarrass me and make me look like a fool. So for me personally, I think it's been an envy thing overall because, like I said, you're looking for an opening to what makes me flawed. But if you're not close to me, I'm never going to be vulnerable with you on that level. And a lot of times, which is another reason why I don't bat a lot of eyes about different people that come in and out of my life. But a lot of times, a lot of these individuals, I'm friends too, but I don't consider them my friend. And they think because they have this amount of time on the phone with me, or, I'm spending time with them, they're under the impression that we're on the same level, and we're not.
Right.
Because I know what you need to feel fulfilled in your life when it comes to a friendship, but I know that you can't do that same thing for me. And
Right.
so I think that's the reason why. So it's like, if you're telling me my man punches me in the face. And I'm like, girl, you got to get away. If you need a place to stay, I'll buy a room for you if I do that. But then what's going on with you? We chilling. Because do we have issues? We got issues. Am I getting punched in the face? No. So for me, I'm like, why would I tell you what I got going on? It's not going to make you feel any better. Let me be there. If you have a problem, let me fix your problem. But they see it as, oh, this bitch, she got a life. Oh, she got a gun. Okay, double chin bitch, like calm down. And
But that
so
thought
that's
process
the
is
cat.
so dumb. Like,
It's
do
silly.
you not know that everybody goes through shit? Like all of us. There's nobody that lives a perfect life. Even these celebrities that people put on pedestals, like they're
Mhm.
humans as well. Like I
But
just don't understand that thought process.
just like celebrities, and we are not celebrities, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to compare myself, but the whole purpose of the statement is based off of people's jealousy and envy is because, and I've encountered this directly, is when you will get people that will go out their way to try and hurt you.
Yeah.
And I had a friend who, this bitch, her baby dad died. And once he died, she completely changed. Now she wanna go on dates with a dude you dated. Now she wanna get the other side of the story if you stop talking to a guy. Now she want you as a sneaky trifling bitch, period.
Mm-hmm.
And you're moving funny because now you're in your feelings about your personal life. And I've been nothing but a friend to you. When your car was flat and you needed me to come get your kids and you needed this, somebody's been there for you. And now because you don't feel good about yourself, you're looking for company.
Right.
And I think that's the sad part too, is how much misery loves company. Because the girl that was even on the live that day, I didn't block her. I went quiet because I wanted to see what's going to be your approach. I've invested 25 years into you. How are you going to handle this situation? Because we're not in biology class anymore, sweetie. This isn't 10th grade. We're not in Miss Stobie's classroom. How are you going to handle this as a grown ass woman? And instead of confronting the situation and having a conversation about it, whether it be moving on to the next place as a friendship or closure for us, you took the coward's route.
Right.
So I will say for me personally, because of my temper, because we all got flaws and I got a hell of a temper.
I do too. That's why I be on some cool shit. Because once my goddamn top blow off, it be World War III in the bitch. So
I'm very big on not really needing closure from people, especially people that do me dirty, because your apology is never going to be as loud as your disrespect. And I can't let myself come out of character, because the minute I do, I'm going to feel bad. And I'm not going to feel bad for what I said to you, because I said what I said. If I said you got told you and bitch, you got told you, and I said what I said. But but I'm gonna feel bad because I'm gonna feel like I took 2 steps back when I'm making these strides to try and evolve in my own personal life for myself. So to all the haters, there's always gonna be a hater.
Oh yeah.
But the way we handle them is just, that's the ultimate what matters, because if not, we just gonna keep repeating the same bullshit with people. New, same script, different cast every time until we overcome that trial of dealing with ignorant, uneducated, emotionally immature, incompetent, and just flat out moronic individuals that come in and out of our lives. And if anybody happens to hear this and you think I'm talking about you, I probably am. But literally, like, it just is what it is. If you're a moron, you're a moron. And I think that finding reasons to dislike someone instead of finding reasons to love yourself makes you a moron.
Right. And I also think outside of jealousy, it's also an insecurity that these people carry. And it's okay for you to be a little insecure, a little jealous, but the hater term comes out when you put that, put those feelings into action versus talking about it or checking yourself. And going back to the immaturity part, being emotionally immature. I remember I used to be that low-key hater in high school. But I kept shit to myself. I didn't act on it, but I had a friend. We still friends to this day. And this is, of course, and this is what this is why I bring up the insecure part, because I was insecure in goddamn high school. Who's not? You ain't really grown into yourself yet, and you know what I mean. I was a skinny ass motherfucker with a big ass head and shit. So like I thought I was, I ain't know females were checking for me until my senior year. I'm like, oh shit, bitch is fucking. Okay,
Ace, you grew
cool.
into your head. Is that what you're saying? You had to grow into
Yes,
your head? Jesus, fix it.
yes. But I used to have this friend. It was this light skinned mixed dude with good hair, had waves. Like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't even try. All the females liked him and shit. I'm like, why the fuck the female? I want the females to like me too and shit. But I never acted on it. But I said that to say, yeah, it kind of creeps into us at some point in time. But the
Mhm.
mature part is you either having that conversation with that person if it's like a tangible situation, or you checking yourself. And at that time, even though I felt those, feelings as far as jealousy because he was getting all the girls and I wasn't, and blah
Mhm.
blah, this, that, and the third. I checked myself constantly, like that's your boy. You can't really, you don't,
Yeah.
don't do anything, don't say anything. It's not his fault that he looks the way he looks. Respectfully. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I am who I am. Shit. Maybe at some point the
Oh,
females gonna fuck with me too. You know what I mean? But I was immature back then, so those feelings of jealousy and insecurity crept in. But I just never really, I never acted on it, never talked about them, bad about
yeah.
them, or anything like that. And I've always stood firm on loyalty. Like if I fuck with you, I'm not talking about you behind your back. I ain't gonna goddamn double cross you. You know what I mean? I mean, I've had my moments to where if um like a partner of mine did fuck with a female and they wasn't fucking with each other like that. Shit, I'm trying to get my rocks off. Shit, I know that was on some immature shit, but you know what I'm saying. I did, get one, get it off every now and then with these females and shit. I was a basketball player. That, nigga, goddamn, was a little fast individual. You know what I'm saying. I was a hoe. Um, so,
Everybody had a whole phase. Don't feel bad. Be proud. Be proud of your
um,
phase.
but yeah, it's just so unfortunate because a lot of times you will think that you, like you said, it was 25 years for you. Like you would think that have a solid foundation with whoever, and then you find out some bullshit 10, 15, 20 years later, and you just like, damn, I wonder how long you've been hating on the motherfucker. Like, how many conversations have you had behind my back? How many times have there been an opportunity that you could have bridged some shit for me that you just chose not to because you did not want to see me succeed? And I also think that hating also comes in a form of lack of support. Have you ever
Yeah.
noticed that your immediate friends, like the people you know in real life, will not. And this is in the space that we're in, and I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm used to it. I don't take it personal, but it's still an observation. Um,
Hmm.
Somebody you meet on social media that knows nothing about you, and y'all don't know each other personally, will repost your shit before your friends ever have done it once. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like for me, if I will repost it, not even needing it to be reciprocated like on my end, but if I fuck with what you got going, I'm gonna repost that just like I do any other repost or put in my story or whatever. I fuck with it, shit. I'm gonna repost that shit. But
Yeah.
I wonder, um, why do you think that is a thing? Why do our immediate friends not repost our shit? Like I just saw like something I posted got reposted by a complete stranger. They don't even follow me or nothing like that, but with the
Mhm.
hashtags and all that shit, people see your shit. And it came up like, oh shit, somebody reposted some shit I posted like, months ago and shit. But I was like, it's crazy how somebody you don't know will repost, but your friends, your so-called family, they will not repost your shit. I
I
wonder
have
why
any.
that is.
I have a real answer for that.
What's that?
Here's why. In my opinion, not a fact. Okay, just
Right.
hold that one there. In my opinion, not. When it comes to individuals in your life
Right.
who have known you over time, they are less likely to support you because they don't have the ability to see the vision.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, and I think it's because we all deal with different forms of trauma throughout our life. Everybody's not being sexually abused, but everyone has a form of trauma, grief, breakups, all of that. You end up stuck in time with certain people.
Right.
And sometimes our family and our friends and our, lovers and everyone, they end up stuck in time. Like, if I'm fat and I decide I want to lose weight, now my man got a problem. Not because he doesn't support my choice, but because he's stuck in time of I fell in love with the fat chick.
Right.
If you had a big head and a skinny body and you grow into your body and bitches is looking at you, niggas are realizing they're stuck in time because they know Ace the big head, skinny body dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of times the lack of support we get is not because they don't want to support us, they don't know where the hell to begin. And I'm going to put it on us. I'm going to put it on us, but hold us accountable.
Right.
Anybody that has this happen, because closed mouths don't get fed. And sometimes we think because someone knows us, they should know what we need from them or of them. And we have to sometimes guide the people in our lives in the direction that they need to go in order for us to feel like we're getting the love that we need from people. So if I go, damn, this person's not supporting me, and we supposed to be tight, I ain't send them no post. I ain't send them no soundbite. I didn't message them and say, can you please repost? See, because once I start asking for a specific and I never asked you for shit and you don't do it, now I know where we stand. Now I know that I'll never tell another person that you do locks. Now I know I'll never tell another person you do makeup, or I'll never tell another person you DIY, or because I'm the type of person I introduce people with their accolade. Oh, my best friend, the one who got the masters from Temple. Oh, Ace, the podcaster that's got his own spot. He got the group podcast and he got the solo podcast on YouTube. That's how I introduce people. So if I'm not getting that same kind of love, my husband says I like to, which I'm really good at. He says I'm really good at compartmentalizing people. So
compartmentalization is a very extreme skill set that I have. So
it's a great path because it means that I don't have to lose you from my life. I just have to readjust where you stand because someone else deserves your spot.
Right. And that's you not taking it personal as well.
Exactly. So I think that a lot of times, to answer your question directly, family and friends, they struggle supporting us because they don't know what the hell we need. It's our job to tell them what we need, and it's their job to show up when they find out what it is. Because I tell you this much, if we were on stage like those podcasters right now with a crowd of people, your stank ass gonna want that front row seat because you know me, right? But were you with me shooting in the gym?
Some great shit.
When I was growing up, there were 3 books that I was reading before kindergarten. One of it was Corduroy, because the fuck is Corduroy is a bear lost in the mall. The second one was Sally's Room, about this girl that had a filthy room, and her room was like, fuck this, and they went to her school and was like, bitch, come home and clean us. But the one that really stood out, even as a child, was about a farm. And there was an animal on the farm that wanted to make bread. And they went around to all the farm animals. Hey, cow, do you have some milk? Hey, chicken, can I have an egg? Hey, hey, turkey, can I have this? They went to everybody, and everybody had an excuse. And they had to figure out how to make that damn bread themselves. And then they made that bread. And when they sat down to eat it, everybody showed up and was like, oh, can I get some? And I kid you not, maybe this is why I'm so petty now as an adult. That animal said, bitch, I asked you for milk, you ain't had no milk. I asked you for eggs, you ain't had no eggs. I asked your stank ass for some flour, you ain't give me no flour. And ran everybody down and ate their bread. So once I tell you what I need, and you do or don't, you show me where I really stand in your life, so I know where you stand in mine.
Right.
There are plenty of people in my life I wanted to take with me on this journey, not podcast-wise, just friendships and things. Like, oh, I can't wait till I get put on because I'm going to have you do X, Y, and Z for me. I want to pay you. When I get there, you're not coming. You're not coming.
And I can't, and let's manifest it. We will get there, and I cannot wait to look at the faces of the individuals that think they were supposed to come with me, that did not assist, support, or even show an interest in what I had going on. You know what I mean? And there's a saying that Kevin Hart has said for a long time: everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to do the hard work to get there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I'm putting in the work, I don't, I want to take people with me. Only thing I ask for is genuine support. And like what you said is, that's very mature as far as telling people, what you think or feel like you need as far as support goes. But in my opinion, it's like if I see you reposting Rihanna shit or Drake shit or whatever celebrity type shit, I feel like you fuck with that shit. So if you're not posting my shit, do you not fuck with my shit? You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
they're
that's kind of the
posting
question
Rihanna.
that I be having in my head.
They're posting Rihanna. They're posting these people because those people are a blank slate. They don't have any relation to them. They don't have any connection outside of the godlike figure they appear to be for social media and online. But when you're tangible,
Right.
it's very difficult for them to see you as something other than. I spent my whole life singing. I've been in the paper. I had a full ride at my university. I've been on television every week. I've been in in studios and everything else. I spent my whole life singing. And I got to when I first started, and I was much younger, I had a very deep voice. My family used to make fun of me. They used to call me Aaron. When I would get mad, my voice would get mad. They're assholes. Very toxic family I come from. And shout out
They're
to them.
very toxic.
They're assholes. But I put in the work. And it was funny because when I was in middle school, I had a friend, shout out to her, her name was Stephanie. And she used to say, quote, "You sound like a chipmunk passing a kidney stone."
Oh,
that's what she used to say. Thing. We got to high school. And my junior year, we did a musical, and it was a review where it was almost like a talent show, but it was a selection of Broadway songs that were given to us. I sang, and she had to do her song right after I sang. And every night I had a standing ovation. She came to me and she said, "I am so sorry that I ever said that shit to you, because now I have to follow after your act and I feel like shit."
Right.
Like literally, you're stuck in who I was. You're not seeing the growth in who I am. And by the time you see it, you're going to be in the nosebleeds and you're going to be having to follow after my act. So sometimes you got to let them learn the hard way.
Oh yeah, and I'm all for learning the hard way. I can't wait until that happens. You feel what I'm saying? Like I just want to be in a position to where, of course, I'm a very positive individual. Like I don't advocate for any negative vibes and shit like that. But I will let you know respectfully that you missed the train, missed the boat. You know what I mean? You got off the wave. That was your fault. You know what I'm saying? Like
you're petty. You're petty. I feel like you would be in your dressing room and they'd be like, "Hey, yo, hey, so and so on the phone. Tell them they missed the train. Bye, nigga." Like what?
like we was talking about those podcasters that that have made it be having those tours and speak at different cities and shit like that. I just want to be one of those people where you're like, "Oh yeah, here go the VIP section. Hey, what up, bro? Hey, we can get over here." No, you can goddamn buy a ticket for regular admission and you can get in like that. Oh, you ain't fucking with me like that. No, I fuck with you, but I ain't fucking with you like that. Okay, so you know what I'm saying. So I think that
you
would
finna
be.
treat their asses like Eddie Kane from the Five Heartbeats when he showed up in that booth. It was like, ah.
Yeah, I will like again. It is more of it's not like I'm gonna throw it in people's faces, but if you come with your hand out, knowing that you didn't assist with none of this work, you never supported, you never, what I'm saying, you never even asked me about, what I had going on. And I also think like in this space right now, a lot of people because they knew me playing basketball growing up, they wanted to see me continue in that space. And of course, I love me some basketball. That's still my passion. I love sports and this, that, and the third. But when the shit didn't work out for me, I had to, pretty much pivot. Shout out to Ryan Clark and the crew. I had to pretty much pivot and find my next act in life. You know what I mean? Like, because even with that, I felt handicapped. Like, once I started playing basketball, I'm like, do you remember you ever seen Talladega Nights? Ricky
Yeah.
Bobby? Do you remember
Yep.
when his hands was coming up? He's like, "What do I do with my hands?" And he kept putting that. That's
Yeah.
how I felt when I stopped playing. I did not know what to do with nothing. You know what I mean? So once I started to get into the other space, like even I got some cousins, even friends, like, "Hey, you should talk about sports. You should do this, and the third." I don't want to talk about
You don't want
that's
to be
something
picking
I
on.
can do effortlessly amongst my people when we get together. If
Mhm.
that's going to be the topic of conversation. But as far as what I want to put out there, I'm showing, my personality, my in-depthness, so to speak, like things that
Mhm.
I can speak about and be on and have opinions about. So I had to kind of, get away from the basketball ace to become this podcast ace. You feel what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I think also with that, I think another thing, people want you to do what they feel that you should be doing versus what's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like they want you to, like, even after I stopped playing ball, I did coach for a little bit, but why you don't keep coaching? Why you don't do this? But you know that I know that's easy. I don't want to do easy. I want to challenge myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is me growing, evolving. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not stuck in the same boat. And I also think because of that, that's all they knew. Like you said, stuck in the past, stuck in this time. A lot
Yeah.
of people I grew up with are stuck in the basketball realm that I used to be in. Oh, you used to
Yeah.
be so good. You could have went professionally. You could have went professional. You could have did this. You don't know what the fuck happened that made me change my mind and stop doing that shit. Like shit
Mhm.
happened that made me, look at life from a different perspective, have a different approach. It's on my Instagram actually. I did a live one night, like me just speaking about what happened with basketball, and I said in that live, basketball pretty much betrayed me. You know what I mean? Because once I got to the highest level as far as university wise, politics came into play, and I never understood that. And I really, it was a tough time for me. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, so it's who you know, who recruited you, who, who's talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not really about your skill. I mean, your skill does count, but and after that, I'm like, shit, the fuck is going on? And I started fucking with basketball. I mean, it's not fucking with basketball literally, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's other things I want to get into. You know what I mean? Went through some depression, all that shit. You know what I mean? Uh, and I just felt the need to, go in a different direction. And also, I had to figure it out. Like, I didn't even know I was going to be in the space. The thing that got me into podcasting, as I mentioned in my intro, is just having genuine conversation and finding that shit
Yeah.
therapeutic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And people are still to the day like old friends. They're so surprised that I do this. Oh shit, thank you. You talk now because I really didn't used to talk like that. I talked to like a select few.
No.
I talked to like a select few, and conversation was very surface level. No, no conversations of substance, so to speak.
Mhm.
But of course, that changed over time. And I also, like I said, I also think like people because you're not in the space that they envisioned you in, now they don't want to support that because you're not doing what they want you to do. You know,
That's the thing.
indirectly or passively, like you should have been doing this. How about I'm doing what I want to do and I feel like what works for me? You know what I mean? And sometimes, also, I think, speaking about haters in your circle, that sometimes motherfuckers don't even know they hate. Like it's like subconscious hate. Like they don't even see it on the wall. Like you know what I mean? Like, damn, why you didn't do this or why didn't you ever ask about this and this and that? Like, oh, because they, passively motherfuckers don't want to see you succeed or they want to be successful. And then, they're like, okay, now I can support you because now I'm successful. Like you
Now
going
where I
back to
need.
what you said, misery loves company. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not on, I don't want you to be on. I ain't gonna say that shit, but that's really how it is. That's how I'm moving. That's how, those are what my actions indicate. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate, but it's really a thing. I'm just not sure why it's a thing, but it is a thing.
People really can be in their feelings about always being the bridesmaid and never the bride. And it's like, I know one individual, I'm not gonna say whether or not it's the same individual,
Mm-hmm.
but She had an issue because her friend was an actress on Showtime and she introduced her to the agents. She had an issue because her sister got invited to be on, a network reality show and she didn't get invited to the. But while you're watching all of these things take place, which is the interesting part about people who don't realize who they are, but I think everybody realizes who they are because it's a hard thing. When you're watching other things take place in people's lives, you have one or two options. You can cheer from the sidelines and work harder, hustle harder, play harder, or you could sit there and just fester in this ugliness of why them and not me. That's why I call it always bridesmaid, never a bride, right? Oh, why am I not the one? Bitch, because you didn't put the work in. You didn't
Everybody want to be
graduate
famous, but don't
from
want to put down the hard work.
school, or you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
everything's not going to come to you easy. At some point, here's the interesting part about a hater. I love when little things pop up in my motherfucking head. Okay, hear me out. You know what the difference between a hater and a winner is? The difference between a hater and a winner is a hater doesn't like to get dirty. A hater does not like to be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that change and growth and success comes is with friction, with tension, with the pulling and the pushing of the things you want to be and do versus what you need to become and what you need to do and who you need to see and how you need to step out of your comfort zone, like you just said. But bitches that do more watching than moving, they're comfortable. They're very, very comfortable in themselves, and that's why they never get anywhere. They'll only ever go to the ceiling, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But a winner never sees a ceiling. There is no damn box.
Right.
Because life is the possibilities and the opportunities are endless. If you fail, bitch, there's a billion other things you could do. And so when I got divorced at 30, I was like, what am I going to do? I'm 30, I'm divorced, I have 3 kids. Bitch, whatever you want. You can go back to school, become a lawyer, be a lawyer for 10 years, quit, go back to school, become a doctor, be a doctor for 10 years, quit, go back to school, become a sex therapist, be a sex therapist for 10 years, and you still won't even be 80. You have that much time to have that much fun with your life. If you're too busy watching what everybody else has going on around them and what everybody else is doing, you're going to watch life pass you by. You'll have no friends, you'll have no man, you'll have no girl, you'll have no work relationships, you'll have nothing. It'll just be you and your Haagen-Dazs and your cats and your flat pancake ass pillow and your you know what I'm saying? Like it just all sounds sad and dreary. It'll always rain in your window and you'll never look at the rain and be like, look at that water replenishing the earth.
Right.
You'll always look and be like, look at that water stopping me from going out. Bitch, what are we? No. So that's all I got to say on that one. I'm gonna just keep my mouth shut now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I think that's the wild part. It's all about which side of the lens you're on. It really is.
Yeah, and I just, like I said, I just wish that this wasn't a thing, but of course it is. Whether it's, envy, jealousy, insecurity, immaturity, all of those play a factor when it comes to, people hating near you, and I also feel like the titles that we give people, sometimes they abuse it. Oh, I'm a friend or even a family member. So even if I do this, in the case hate, not support, or, just be, unloyal, so to speak, because I'm the friend, because I'm the family, we'll get past, what I'm saying? It's going to be, forgiven, swept under the rug, so to speak. You know what I mean? And people take advantage of those titles as well. So I just want us to do better, as people, individually. You can't really help or dictate how people will move out here, but you only can,
Yeah.
You only can be responsible for yourself. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we're in a space where we cannot take shit personal. You know, I've been told that I'm hard, I'm cold, I'm this, that, and the third. It's not that. People just don't surprise me. You know, if I've had so many situations to where I have had a hater, had a someone close to me that I thought, you know, we were locked in like cellies, but we you know what I'm saying, we ain't on that type shit. And
Mhm.
I used to get my feelings hurt. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, I used to take shit personal, especially after like transitioning from basketball to the real world, seeing the friends that I had then versus the friends that I had when I, you know, started doing other things. I'm like, damn, where the fuck everybody at? You know what I mean? I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, they probably thought that I was gonna be a professional basketball player and they was gonna stick around for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was
Mhm.
the goal, but shit, you know, shit happens. And you know, when you go through real shit, that's when you know who's really there. You know what I mean? One thing I do want anyone that's listening to this pod right now, I want you to try this out. This is an experiment. Don't text or call anyone for a week. See how much your phone blows up. You know what I mean? If you're
Mhm.
that person that always hitting somebody up, well, you know, see how much that's reciprocated once you just get quiet for a little bit. You know what I mean? That's a very respectful test where you can kind of gauge your relationships with people. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person like I will reach out to people just randomly on my phone that I haven't heard from in a minute. Just, hey, you straight? Everything good? What's been going on? You know what I'm saying? Just to check on people. You know what I mean? And that's rarely done to me. Which I mean, you know, I get it, I understand, you know, but it's a thing. You know what I mean? I pay attention, I observe. You know what I'm saying? I take mental notes, not even trying to, you know, people that were there versus people that was not there.
Yeah.
And again, I don't take it personal. It's just if a motherfucker get to that finish line and you ain't with me, don't feel no type of way when I ain't bringing you. Like I ain't letting
Lose,
you
you
go.
lose.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's a
Mhm.
thing on social media too. I've reposted it several times on my Facebook. I've seen it on Instagram as well. You know, stop. The saying is stop begging, not to stop asking for support. Network with strangers. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the thing. A stranger will support you quicker than your closest friend. You know what I mean? And it's not supposed to be that way. You know what I mean? But this is how shit lines up. That's the dynamic of, you know, lack of support or support, you know, versus support. It's unfortunate, but it's a thing. You know, it is what it is.
But you know
Um,
what? I feel like sometimes too, people are taken out of our life for that season so that they can't take credit for our wins. And that's another
mhm,
thing. So it's like sometimes God or the universe will remove a person so that they
mhm,
can't be like, yeah, that was all me. Oh yeah, I was there when you did it and I did that. No, no,
mhm.
you don't get to claim the glory.
At all, not even a little bit. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, I agree with that. You know, you know, things happen for a reason. I'm a real believer in fate. Your script is already written. Like I believe
Mhm.
in that shit. So, you know, whatever stage of life you're in, people are purposely there or taken out for whatever reason. Whatever the end game is, you know, it's already set up for you. You know what I mean? And whoever's gonna be there is gonna be there. Who's not, they're not. And I have no problem letting you know that you were not with me on this journey. I have no problem. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh, hey, why I didn't know you was doing this. Why you let me know? Why would I? You know what I'm saying? If you found out on social media or say um I became famous in some shape, form, or fashion and you heard on the radio or you heard through, you know, oh yeah, why am I coming to you directly for it? Oh, because it looks nice because I'm on now. Now you want to jump on the bandwagon and be a part of something. You didn't want to be a part of the grind. You want to be a part of the success. That's not how it works. I have people around me now that I pay
Yeah.
for that. You know what
And
I'm saying?
honestly, I'm gonna keep it honest with you, Ace. I really, and don't get me wrong, I think it's a small percentage, but I do think that there are people, friends and family, that will go out of their way to not like your shit when it comes across.
Oh
When
yeah.
it shows up on their profile, when they see the stories, they will go out their way to ignore it.
Mhm.
And I noticed that because I have interviewed some celebrities.
Right.
Oh, you got dude from Sister Act on there? When the bitch, relax. Where were you for 2 years straight? Watching but not replying. Being a spectator, not a participator. Now you see there's a chance that there could be something happening in the works, like you said, and you want to show up.
Now you want to be a part
Stand down,
of it.
hand down. Like, nah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, this was a really great conversation. I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping this up. AJ from T to Toxic, tell the people about your platforms, where they can find you, where they can listen to the pod and see your interesting takes, so to speak. I'll leave it at that.
You can say toxic, it's okay. Um, so
It's in the title.
yeah, it's in the title. Like, come on, y'all. The T is Toxic is on Instagram. The T is Toxic is on TikTok. The T is Toxic can be heard on Spotify. It's all audio, y'all. Just like I say when people tune in, listen, like it, share it. If you don't like it, share it with your enemies. Thank you for either way. If you don't like the sound of my voice, send that to all the people you hate. Send that to the ones you feel like hating in your circle. Go ahead. But you can find me on Spotify. The T is Toxic. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, for me, TikTok and Instagram, Ace underscore Alpha 2, on X, formerly known as Twitter, Ace underscore YUNG, the number 2. And as always, I'll leave y'all with this. Everybody can talk, but everybody can't podcast. With that being said, we're out. Thank you for joining.